Welcome. Today we're joined by Kimberley Knook, founder of AgentMarket, to discuss transparency in real estate. Hi, Kimberley.
Hello. Thank you for having me today.
Very excited about this. You've just started your own podcast series.
Yeah, a little bit different, not necessarily a podcast. They're master classes, so 30-minute sessions where experts come and provide 3 key learnings for people in the real estate industry that they can take home. So today we had Kyle Kwan on. He's from Khan Multimedia. He's got over 120,000 followers, like millions of views. And he did a session on YouTube and how to create content to convert and use it as like a search, like you do with Google. Use YouTube in that way. So it was very interesting.
Fantastic. That sounds great. And today we're going to chat about transparency and beyond the first agent you meet. What kind of agents are we talking about?
Any agent really. So for me, it's all about, there are so many real estate agents out there, right? And who do you pick? And I think that's the interesting thing in terms of what the data is showing, right? That people often go with the first agent they meet. In the majority of cases, they do. And then they find out that, actually, afterwards, was that the right thing to do? And there, like I mentioned, there are so many out there. How do you actually narrow them down and find the agent that works for you? And I'd love to talk to you about that today.
Fantastic. So, AgentMarket itself is relatively new. Can you give us a bit more of what you're doing here?
Yeah. So we launched AgentMarket like a hard launch in March. The reason that I founded AgentMarket is because of a frustration I had myself, right? I like to do my due diligence. I like to gather information before I make a decision. I do that with my mortgage, did that with my car. And then when it came to finding a real estate agent, like the majority of people, you go with your referral, right? When you go online, you find a name, contact details. They're the number one in something, right? But beyond that, there's not much information that you get. And when you meet with agents, it's really you're getting their sales pitch. And based on that, you find out, okay, do I have a click with this person? Yes or no? And you move forward from there, right? And I think, for me, that was just a bit, I found that very backwards, that I couldn't get that information that I needed to be able to say, okay, you know what, this agent specializes in this field. And if that's what I'm looking for, then I would be going with this real estate agent, or this real estate agent can offer me that. Like just being able to compare them, to then invite them over for a coffee to discuss next steps. That is what was missing for me. And that's why we built AgentMarket, to provide that transparency, so that when you are looking for a real estate agent, this should be your first step. For any buyer or seller, you come to AgentMarket and you either check out the referral that you got, and you check out their online public profile, which has all the information you need, from years of experience to number of sales in the past 12 months to marketing materials, etc. And if that isn't sufficient for you, then you can request an information package anonymously, right? That's why we built AgentMarket and launched it in March of this year.
What was your personal experience and frustration having gone with the agent that you had first gone with, and what did you learn as you went through that process with them?
Yeah, we were lucky enough that they were working in a team. So the initial agent we went with came through a referral, and I can totally see how they clicked. They are both like fast moving, making fast decisions, and just want to keep going. And whereas me and my husband, we're like, we want to run the numbers, do analysis, right? So we were lucky enough that we could go to someone else within his team and work with them, and they were a lot more like laid back, let us go into open homes by ourselves. We could then let him know, okay, we're interested, you go and do your walkthrough, etc. Right? But I think that
You
was the
found your fit.
frustration. We found our fit, sure. But not from the get-go, right? So I think
Right.
that's what I found frustrating. And then there's the whole part about like the regions as well. We spoke to some other agents as well, and they're like, oh, but we're more focused on this area and we're more focused on that area. And I'm like, okay, but like we're new to Northwest Vancouver as such. We'd like to explore across the region.
Got it. So you were
Yeah.
looking for that person that had the regional experience
Yes.
that you were looking for to get up to speed on the different neighborhoods and even sub neighborhoods. There are little regions within every community that a local realtor will know quite a bit about if they have experience in that area. Obviously, there are
Exactly.
some agents that are perhaps more established with detached homes and some that do more in the condo space.
Yeah.
So they've got different experience or with townhomes.
Yes.
What other kind of factors do you see when it comes to aligning an agent's experience with the needs of buyers?
I I would really look at your personal situation. So if, for example, you're starting a family, you want to find someone that has that experience to be able to show you homes and be able to point out, okay, well, you'll have a baby in the next 6 months, right? Where is the baby going to sleep? Where are you going to stay? How is that going to work, right? That can have a look at like your future plan. Okay, what is it that you're looking for? What are your interests? What do you want to achieve, and be able to fit that neighborhood around it? So it might not be family, it might be for senior living, or but really look at your personal situation and try and find a real estate agent that has experience with that, and that wants to like that can help you find the place that will fit, not just this year, maybe not just in the next 5 years, but that can fit for the next 10 years, right? Or that can be that step up.
There's beyond the knowledge and expertise, there's also the personal dynamics and the kind of, I guess, the character themselves. When you realize that we're all human and we all have different needs and
Yeah.
priorities, and obviously the referral that you got was from someone who's quite decisive, who had a clear sense of what they were looking for, managed to get a fast moving agent that said these are the 10 places that could meet your criteria. A certain percentage of those were visited, an offer was made, and the deal was done.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit with everybody. You obviously wanted to take your time, as I did when we made our last move. So you've got to really find the personality that matches with yours as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why we always say on our platform, you get the initial information, right? So you get all the data that you would get, all the data and information that you would get from a sales pitch. So if you're looking to sell, for example, you'd understand, okay, what's the price range that they could sell my property for? What's their commission rate? How fast? What are the services that are included? Because those differ as well, right? Or what do I pay additionally for? What's the data that is backing what like the price range that they're quoting me, right? But you get this, so you get this 5 times, so you can compare it. We then always recommend pick at least 2 real estate agents that you want to meet, right? Invite them to your home, do a walkthrough, ask specific questions, right? And see how you connect with this person. Because, like you said, I've got friends that sold their place, and they had 2 agents, and they connected with one
Got it.
over the other, right? It's nothing to do with potentially their skill. They could still be both very good at selling your place, but you do need to have that connection, because in the end, on a weekly basis or even multiple times a week, you will be talking to this agent and working together with them to sell your property.
That's a great point. Yes, on referrals, I will say that I have taken them in the past. I worked with one agent when I returned to Canada over a decade ago, and then met another when it was time to make a change, and was fortunate in both cases. Got really experienced, knowledgeable realtors. In the latter transaction that we did, I was really lucky. We made it clear that we were not necessarily in a hurry to sell, but wanted to be prepared. Cleaned up, took the photos. He had it ready to go, and when the market suited us, we went. And then we waited a number of months before resuming our search in earnest. And he was very patient and set up some opens that we attended on our own. So I guess, like you, Kimberly, we wanted to take our time, and so we found the right agent. You've got these circles with trust in the middle.
Yeah.
How do you establish it? How do you find that point? Is this the coffee meeting? Is this?
No, good question. So, well, basically, coming back to what you were saying about the referral that you got, right? What we say is trust but verify. So you can trust your referral, still might not be the right thing for you. So verify it first, right? Because your friends or your family situation might be completely different from what you are looking for. And what we built AgentMarket on is because it is a marketplace for buyers and sellers to find real estate agents, right? So trust for us is about, how do you build that? A client needs to trust the agent, and an agent wants to be seen as the trusted advisor to the client, right? Trust is built through transparency. Transparency is built by providing information, right? And being open and sharing that information. That is what AgentMarket is built on, is built on that sharing of information between agents and the client.
That makes sense, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Transparency is important across all facets of the business. I talk a lot about condos, and transparency remains one of the biggest issues and points of contention for those living in those communities. And often just being transparent makes the biggest difference.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So, like, I find it, again, like coming to this slide now, but I find it so interesting when I don't know if you've heard of the path to purchase, right? But it's basically, how do you go from the idea of potentially buying or selling to actually selling your place in the end, or to finding a real estate agent, right? And the data shows that 43% of people actually start their search online. They don't start by asking their friends and their family for a referral. No, they start their search online.
I'm surprised the number's that low at this stage, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. But 100% does go online.
Yeah.
Right? So everybody uses some form or shape of online research. On average, they do around 3 hours of online research. Yeah. Yet 81% of people still go with the first agent they meet. They don't compare. They don't invite a second one. They don't invite a third one. They just go with one. And I mean, I get it, right? Because when you look about the process of doing that, you go online, and what do you find? You find a name, phone number, and the number being the number one in something. That's the first thing you find online, right? Then there are thousands out there that are the same. You go outside, you have a look on the bus, you have a look on your mailer. Again, it's the same information. And the funny thing is, I find this quite funny. It's like, when I say you're the number one in something, I've once seen on a bus ad someone state, "I'm number one," and then in tiny letters, "according to my clients." So, like, what does that mean, right? what does that mean that you're the number one according to your clients? Because you've specialized in a certain field, or like in a certain persona, right? The first time buyer, or the senior, or the family. Like, what have you specialized in? And then people find it interesting or surprising that 50% of people are not sure if they would go with this agent again. Like 50% are completely happy, right? They say was the right choice. I would use this person again. But the other 50% says, oh, you know what? Actually, I don't know if I would have gotten a better
Yeah.
deal.
I mean, there's so many factors at play, right? There's the luck of finding the right home and finding it quickly at the right price, which is not really in the control of any particular agent. You're only looking at the supply that's in the market when you're in the market,
Yeah.
and you're trying to make the best decision you can at that time, or wait until something meets your criteria. And as
Yeah.
I say about real estate constantly, everything is a trade-off. You've got the perfect location, but not enough square feet. You've got the right location and square footage, but you don't have the outside space. You've got just so many factors in real estate. And then there comes the negotiation. And I think one of the undervalued aspects about realtors is how strong they are with negotiation, because these are massively significant purchases. For most people, it's the biggest asset that they hold in their lifetimes, especially if they live in North America. And they are often making a decision that is largely emotionally driven, and they just need to make sure that the numbers work. Can they buy it, or can they not? But
Mm.
having an agent that's willing to try and engage in negotiation to get you the best price for your home, whether you're buying or selling, can make a material difference to you. And I think that that's something that I certainly value, and I think that it's one of the reasons why I um, would consider looking for a different agent if I didn't feel like my realtor had my back and did their very best for me, as opposed to just getting it done. And I know that they're commission driven, and that's their compensation model, and they want to see as many deals close as possible.
Yeah.
But getting that result for the client cements that relationship and ensures that they're back. And I would say that after I bought my first home in North America, um, I didn't hear from that agent again ever, ever. So when it came time to consider a move again, yeah, I thought he was all right, but I didn't feel that there was a relationship, and was receptive to that next referral from someone that I trusted.
Yeah.
And in that case, we had the discussion. There was a good fit, and we went that direction.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, um, a couple of things on this, right? First of all, even if you have someone that you trust, you should still compare. It's the same with your bank, right? Like, oh, I've got my mortgage. I need my mortgage to renew. Yeah, it was pretty good, but I'm still going to shop around, right?
For
It's
sure.
about like in 5 years, a lot of things can happen. And like you mentioned, it is your biggest purchase that you're going to do, right? Like every single time, it's the biggest purchase in your life, really. So you should still verify that you get the best and that they are still aligned to your current situation and what they can offer you. Do they have a step up above the rest because you know them? Sure, but it still allows you, by obtaining that information, right? It still allows you to question them, or to make it better, or to get learnings out of it, as well. It's the same as, you don't go to like just to a mortgage broker and say, okay, yeah, you just tell me what the
Yeah,
best
I
rate
want
is that I
this.
can get.
Yeah,
Right? Like you still shop around, at least we do. Like we had a mortgage broker, we still went to different banks and we negotiated a better rate with the bank than a mortgage broker could do.
And that's
So,
interesting because I've heard a lot of good cases for mortgage brokers in being able
oh,
to come up with some of the best terms.
for sure, for sure. Like she was very surprised. She was like, "Oh, yeah, I've not seen net rate in a long time." Um, um, so there is still a point there for comparing and getting all the information that you need, especially when it
For
comes
sure.
to such a big chunk of money and commitment, right? In terms of buying or selling your property. So, 100% agree with you. Like a referral is always a good starting point, right? Because someone has used them. However, you still need to check and verify for yourself that they are the best and gather yourself or arm yourself with the information beforehand so that you know um, the right questions to ask. Because that was my last point that I was going to make is like it's the assumptions or setting the expectations. Like a lot of things fall through because people assume, right? Well, I assumed that you were going to do this, or I assumed that the communication would work like that, or I assumed, but no, like gather the information, ask the right questions, and then set the expectation. And that comes from both sides, from a real estate agent being able to not just be able to pitch. No, I've pitched, you've invited me over. So you like what I've proposed, ask your questions, and now let's set expectations on how we are going to work together. I'm going to give you an update once a week. It's going to be via email or over the phone or whatever it is going to be. I'm going to do this many open homes, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this is the marketing plan. This is how you will hear back from me.
Actually, that's
Um,
really interesting. I
yeah,
don't think that those that are in the market appreciate as much the effort that goes into marketing on the part of realtors, and
yeah.
certainly the exposure that they fight to get both through the local sites online and even the papers to try and get exposure for you makes a big difference. And
Oh, and even the network that a real estate agent has, right? Because I think that's one of the things that I don't think is talked about enough is the network that a real estate agent has with other agents, right?
yes,
Because in the end, that's what it's about. Sure, the client nowadays goes online and has a look online at homes and properties and makes their own like wish list. But often real estate agents within their network get a hold of properties, right? And can provide you and can actually ask some questions already or like dig a bit deeper and be like, I actually think based on your situation, this could be good property. I had other friends of mine that bought a property and they looked at the pictures and they're like, oh, this is not for us. And their agent said, just do me a favor and just go and have a look because I think this could be a good fit for you. They walked in and they said it was nothing like the pictures, right?
it's funny how that is, isn't it? And having an agent that's receptive enough to tell you to go and don't just judge based on what you've seen there because it doesn't
Yeah.
reflect the way it feels and the potential that the home might have. I think that's a really good point, Kimberly.
Yeah, now it can be the other way around as well, that you walk into a property and you're like, "Oh, this looks way better on the pictures than it is in reality," right? But I mean, yeah, there is that network from agents where, yeah, they hear about these properties. Sometimes there might be an open home just for realtors, right, to come and have a look at the place beforehand so that they can advise their clients in a better way.
Those are great. I really appreciate those.
Hmm.
Tell me a bit more about what agents are doing on your site and what sort of information they're able to convey, and how that translates to someone who's looking to find a realtor.
Yeah. So with AgentMarket, we're looking for agents that are progressive, right? Progressive professionals that are confident and transparent. And what does that mean? These are the agents that are yes sayers, that are saying, you know what, I know I'm good at what I do. And I get frustrated because I too often I talk to clients after the fact when they've bought or sold their place and tell me, I wish I would have spoken to you. So these are the agents that say, put me in front of anybody and I will win this, right? So they want to be transparent. They want to provide that information to the client so that they can make an informative decision, right? And the way that we do that is by, first of all, providing them with online public profiles that don't just give you their name and contact details. They also provide you with a little bit of a write-up about who they are, how they're different, their specializations, the languages that they speak, awards that they've won. If they are part of a team, there's a team write-up about that. It's actually something that we're launching this week, is team profiles as well for agents, so that besides their individual profile, they can create a team profile. And then from there, you can then decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to call this agent straight away. I've seen enough. Or you can request information packages, right? So
Excellent. And I see that there's media there too, so they can upload a clip,
yes,
either themselves introducing or showing something about
yes.
their team or their excellent.
Yeah, and any marketing materials as well. They can add PDFs there. There are backlinks to their website, which showcase their recent sales or their current listings. So as a buyer or seller, you can click on that and you can see, okay, what does that look like, right? How would they be marketing my property? So that's all part of that online public profile that they get. And then there is the information packages, and this is the thing that buyers and sellers can request anonymously. The reason that we've done it anonymously is because we are not a lead generator. So AgentMarket, we're not a brokerage, we're not a real estate agent. We are independent. We're an independent platform, so we don't sell contact information. Now, you might say, oh, but as a real estate agent, oh, but I want the leads as such, right? Yeah, but that means having to call them, email them, and from what I've been hearing from other agents that have used those kind of platforms, it's like, it just feels awkward because you feel like it's just another agent like following up and haunting people down, right? Instead of with us.
Tricky, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
because everybody they want leads, they wanna grow their business, they wanna convert, they wanna sell, but it is difficult when you're in that sort of a form. So the clients in this case are gonna be reaching out directly to the realtor?
Yes, exactly. Yes. So once they've received the information packages and review all the information that is in there, they then choose who they want to connect with. So they
I think I
then
say
call
buyers
the
sort of
agent.
regularly. I do mean buyers or sellers, like anyone that's
Yes.
interested in
Yeah,
recruiting.
exactly.
Yeah, okay,
Both can request information packages, right? And then yeah, they call the agent for a coffee catch up. So then also from an agent's perspective, you know that they're interested in working with you, right?
right. Right. So it's not a cold lead. That's
No.
fantastic. I know that we have more questions and more to talk about, so I'm gonna wrap away from the slides and we'll just
Yeah,
have a bit of discussion about that.
that sounds good.
So one of the things that I'm interested in
Mhm.
is how how does an agent that decides to use Agent Market stand out relative to the others that are there already?
Yeah, good question. I get this question quite often from real estate agents, and it's about, you need to find your differentiator, right? How are you different from the rest? What services do you offer that others don't offer, right? Is it a specialization? Is it your marketing? Is it um, your contacts in your network? Like, for example, I've got a place that I need to sell, and there are all these little maintenance things that need to be done before it's ready. But I don't know where to start. But this real estate agent has that connection, right? And has those contacts and can connect you with them so that your house is ready
Ready.
for sale. So that for me is about, it's real. There's no one answer fits all kind of solution. Everybody needs, as a real estate agent, you need to have a look at yourself and look at what's authentic to me. Where do my strengths lie? And how do I differentiate myself? So what am I going to focus on, right?
One thing that great realtors are very good at is selling themselves. So
Yeah.
I don't actually think they're going to find it that hard. I think they're going to know what their area of expertise is. It's how comfortable are they to go out there and express that in this
Yeah.
place to this audience. And
Yeah.
I think that a lot of them will find that to be easier than they might expect. And I guess, can I turn it around and say, from the perspective of the buyers and sellers, because you've only been at this for 6 months, what's the feedback that you're getting from them on their success with finding the right agent?
Oh, they love it. So it's been great to get their feedback. So I've had uh, sellers that have tried to sell in the past, and like, oh, the way it worked with previous real estate agents was they would basically tell them, oh, I think we can sell it for this much. And then the agent would say, yeah, I think so too. And now they actually got the information that clearly stated the reasons why it could sell for a certain price. It wasn't them telling the real estate agent, right? So that was number one. The other one was, oh, we actually found agents that sold in our building and that knew our building and knew the clientele or the type of buyer for our place. So it just provided them with a lot more insights and information to be able to make that decision.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And geographically, where are you serving today?
Yeah, currently we're focused on BC, and at the end of the year we're going national.
Fantastic. And you're adding some new features. You mentioned that you were bringing on the team profiles with this release. What else is on your roadmap? What are you getting asked for by the two counterparties as it comes to developing it?
Yeah, so on our roadmap, first of all, it's the team side of things. We're getting a lot of other professionals that want us to do the same thing for them. So definitely something we're looking into, from commercial real estate agents to property managers to home inspectors to
Mortgage
lawyers. Yeah, mortgage brokers is an interesting one. Yeah, mortgage brokers have asked it as well. Like, yeah, exactly. So it's everybody in the industry. So we're figuring out. We want to do this first, and then we'll slowly start adding to it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
How else do you see technology sort of transforming the relationship between the buyers and sellers and the real estate professionals?
The reason that I have to have a think about this is because I still hear it a lot, where I get questioned about our platform because AI is coming and it's going to take away the real estate agent.
It's not.
And well, and that's my answer. So people have tried over many years now to get rid of the real estate agent as such, and it hasn't worked, right? People trust a real estate agent. They want to work with a real estate agent to sell their property, right? It is such a big transaction, and there's so much weight on the importance of it going right, that people want that human connection with the real estate agent. And that's why we built AgentMarket, not taking away real estate agents, but basically helping buyers and sellers find the right agent and feeling good about the decision they made. So when you ask me about technology, my answer is I don't believe that the real estate agent is going to disappear anytime soon. In
I
the
don't either. I
transaction.
think that the technology and the tools make it easier, and they make it
Yes.
better for the realtors and make it better for those that are seeking to buy or sell their homes, but I don't see them going anywhere either. As you know, OctoAI's main product is Eli Report, which is a technology. It's not a licensed service. We do not provide advice. We do not provide opinions. We give context to documents, condo documents. So it's limited to the condo and townhouse segment of the market. But it's there to empower and create transparency between those that are buying into communities and
Yeah.
selling, and those realtors that are operating there. So it allows everyone to get a better understanding. And I think that is where technology is driving the most value. It's in discovery. Obviously, the MLSs have evolved dramatically over the last several decades, and while they're still fragmented and complicated systems, they have
Yeah.
allowed for this discovery and the transition of the internet. And now only 43% of the people start on the internet. That I'm still shocked at how low that is. I can't imagine being interested and not starting with hey, what's for sale in this neighborhood? Let's go look that up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that the agent's going nowhere. I think that they've got to really create that experience with the party that they're representing, because we are there for that trust. We're there for their experience. Yes, you pay a realtor, but the value that you may get for your home, if you do not leverage their expertise, their exposure, their network, their negotiation, their knowledge of this particular space, could cost you way more than what the real estate fees are. And I've certainly felt that way with all the transactions that I've been involved with in this space. And I don't see that changing.
No, I agree with you. And I think there's just one thing that I think could make a big change is because the realtor brand or real estate agent brand is it's not great, right? I think everybody agrees on that. I think one thing that could make a huge change is Real Estate Institute Canada. They've launched like a verification badge where they do full background checks on the real estate agents, and real estate agents can check in on, like, they can opt into that, right? So they do like the police checks, university degree checks, anything that's being set gets checked and make sure that it's all accurate. And I think that could be a really good thing in the industry, because that for buyers and sellers can indicate, okay, you know what, they are verified. I can trust what is being said, and
It's a
go
good
with
point. I
them
mean,
from
I
there.
I don't have a negative connotation around the realtor brand, but
Yeah,
I can certainly, I think we could all point to a number of recent examples where there have been some failings by characters that
yeah,
needed clearly to have some more oversight, or some background checks may have revealed that they were the sorts of characters that you might not trust with such
yeah.
an important financial transaction.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And that's it. It hurts the ones that are good, right?
Deeply, and they've had nothing to do with that person, except that they happen to choose that industry as a space where they could make their buck, and do harm to both the individuals involved and then to the industry along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that's I can see that being or being taken up very well by the public once that comes out and gets used more. But like, yeah, I think that's just it. It's making it easier for anything that will make it easier for buyers and sellers to be able to sort through those thousands of real estate agents or even the hundreds that are in your neighborhood, right? And limit it down to like the two or three that you'd like to meet, is I think is going to make a big impact.
So on your screen right now, you can see the QR code, or you can go to agentmarket.ca. Whether you are a realtor looking to be transparent and grow your business and your online
Yeah,
profile, or you are a buyer or seller of a home looking to find the right person to represent you in that transaction, this is where you go. Kimberly, is there anything else you want to share?
No, just if there's anybody that wants to reach out directly, like please do so. You can connect either with me on LinkedIn or go to our website and send me a message there.
Fantastic. Well, next week we're going to be joined by Jasrup Gosal of the BCREA. He's their government relations manager to talk about their priorities and strata education. I'm going to be returning more fully to condo talk next week. And I think that that's a subject that we touch on regularly, Kimberly, because all of the stakeholders should understand that ecosystem a little bit better if they're getting involved with anything other than a detached home. So
Yes.
thank you so much for joining me. We'll speak again soon.